I am Sonal Parnavithana.
A pleasant evening. I'm Dulanjali Ananda and these are headlines for tonight.
A significant growth in the flow of direct foreign investments to Sri Lanka. The cabinet approves to gazette the draft bill to repeal perks of former presidents and to present it to the parliament. The Parliamentary Committee of Inquiry decides suspended IGP Deshabandhu Tennakone is guilty of all charges. It is suspicious whether there is an organised plan behind the wild elephant killings. The government is ready to entertain views of all parties over education reforms. A complaint lodged at the CID against former President Ranil Wickremesinghe and former Minister Vidura Wickramanayake. 15 million narcotic pills were destroyed. Iran is on decision to continue its nuclear program. Taking a look at your local developments for tonight, according to the Board of Investment of Sri Lanka, the flow of direct foreign investments into this country has shown an increase
during the first half of this year, and the board further says that this has been an attractive increase of 101% compared to the same period last year. During the first 6 months of 2025, direct foreign investments has exceeded $507 million, which is a 101% increase in the figure of $252 million recorded last year during the same period. According to the Board of Investments of Sri Lanka, this can be described as a result of the strategic effort taken to locate Sri Lanka as a competitive investment destination in the South Asian region. This will also be a strong foundation in order to achieve annual direct foreign investment targets for this country. In addition, this also illustrates the continuous enthusiasm of global investors on the future investment opportunities of this country. Ports development, production, tourism and commercial centres along with service sectors are also included as sectors providing main contributions for this increase. The process to approve new investment proposals is being carried out under a mechanism to provide speedy investment facilities. The Board of Investment of Sri Lanka states that several investment projects with a high contribution towards the economy of the country have reached the operational stage during this year. Apart from the foreign investments, local investment activities also show a strong process. The board points out that an increased trust on the development of local economy has also been shown through this. During the first half of 2025, local investments have reached $285 million, which is an increase of 13% compared to $252 million recorded during the same period in 2024. In addition, the board has approved 57 new projects during the first half of this year. The total estimated investment value of them is $569 million. Out of this figure, $320 million are direct foreign investments. This includes 31 current new projects and 26 extensions of present projects under extension. It has been planned to create more than 14,000 employment opportunities through these projects. The strong increase of the inflow of direct foreign investment during the first half of 2025 is an indicator of enthusiasm the global investors towards Sri Lanka has, and has also created a trust to achieve the economic development expected by the country.
The committee appointed to investigate allegations against suspended IGP Deshabandhu Tennakone has informed that in its report that he is guilty of all allegations. Speaker Dr. Jagat Wickremesinghe, presenting the report in the Parliament today, made this observation.
A committee of inquiry was appointed to investigate and report on the grounds for the removal of the current Inspector General of Police. I have now received formal findings of the committee duly constituted in accordance with the Act. This committee, having conducted its inquiries, has unanimously found the officer in question guilty of the allegations brought against him in accordance with the Section 8(2) of the Act. This marks a historic moment in our constitutional journey, the first time in the history of the Republic of Sri Lanka that such a committee has submitted its findings recommending the removal of an Inspector General of Police under the provision of the law enacted by the Parliament. As mandated under Section 17 of the Removal of Officers Procedure Act, I am obliged and hereby undertake to place the finding of guilt in the form of a resolution in the order paper of Parliament for the consideration and vote of this House.
Minister Dhammika Patamadi told the Parliament today that it is suspicious whether there is an organised plan behind the killings of wild elephants. The minister stressed that the Criminal Investigation Department has also been informed regarding this matter. Opposition leader Sajith Premadasa said in Parliament that in recent times they had continuously heard about incidents of wild elephants' deaths. However, it appeared that neither the current government nor past governments had taken any firm and appropriate steps to prevent these harmful circumstances. Responding to this, Environment Minister Dr. Dhammika Patamadi said that in the year 2023, on average, 41 elephants had died each month, but in 2024 that number had reduced to 32. He said that by 2025 the monthly death rate had been further reduced to 25 due to the intervention of the current government. He noted that they had observed two main trends related to elephant killings. One was during the previous budget period where there had been a rise in incidents of elephants being shot, and the second was the current emerging trend or organised plan aimed at starting another wave of elephant killings. He expressed suspicion that the shootings and deaths of elephants appeared to be a part of a planned operation, as it has been observed that shots were fired below the knees of the elephants, causing them immense pain and suffering before death. He also mentioned that there were allegations suggesting that the killings were being carried out using weapons distributed by the government. However, he firmly rejected those claims, stating that the present government had not provided any firearms to farmers during their time in power. According to him, the shootings were being carried out using guns that had been distributed by previous administrations. He emphasized that this wrong culture had intensified the human-elephant conflict.
Cabinet spokesman Minister Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa says that government intervention or intention is to conduct educational reforms entertaining views and proposals of all parties. The minister clarified on this matter at the press briefing held today to announce the cabinet decisions. Minister Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa said that the Ministry of Education had presented a proposal and discussions were still ongoing. Various stakeholders were still being given time to present their suggestions and opinions. He explained that if the proposed education reforms were to be implemented, a large number of teachers in the country would need to be trained. The ongoing discussions were aimed at providing the basic infrastructure required for such teacher training. He added that the reforms could not be successfully implemented just by preparing proposals and training teachers without providing practical exposure. The initial phase of these reforms was expected to focus on grades 1 to 6. The minister noted that under the current curriculum, there appeared to be a lack of emphasis on technological subjects, especially considering the shift in global education trends. Discussions had started in light of this situation, and all parties were welcome to join in. He also stated that although the current week was being criticized as an education reform week, the government was not afraid of such criticism. He emphasized that they firmly believed educational reforms must take place. However, he stressed that such changes should be made without compromising the country's culture or established academic principles. The government, he said, hoped to raise children who are strong in both cultural roots and capable of facing the future global world. The minister added that the Ministry of Buddhist Religious and Cultural Affairs was currently responsible for a number of institutions with historical significance. This included the Department of Buddhist Affairs, the Central Cultural Fund, the Buddhist Renaissance Fund, the Department of Archaeology and 26 other institutions officially gazetted under the ministry. He said that all matters related to the Buddhist religion were being handled under this ministry. Until now, no allegations has been made by any chief prelate or other Buddhist monks regarding the ministry's operations. Not even a letter had been received in this regard. He said that all the current accusations appeared to be politically motivated criticisms against the government and were not something they considered significant. Views were also expressed regarding the government decision to demarcate reservations of the irrigational reservoirs related to agriculture. Minister Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa said that during the previous cabinet meeting, a decision had been taken to allocate 100 million rupees under the Clean Sri Lanka project to mark reservoir boundaries of tanks under the Department of Irrigation. He said that 48 reservoirs had been identified for boundary marking under this initiative. Out of those, the boundaries of 23 tanks were expected to be marked in 2025. However, regarding actions to be taken against unauthorized constructions around those tanks, the minister said he was not in a position to comment. That responsibility, he said, lies with the Department of Irrigation, which would submit a special report to the government after completing the boundary marking. Based on that report, further action would be taken.
Chief incumbent of the Mihintale Raja Mahabihara, Venerable Valavahanguna Dhammaratana Thera, lodged a complaint to the Criminal Investigation Department today. The complaint is against former President Ranil Wickremesinghe and former Minister of Buddha Sasana Vidura Vikramanayaka. Venerable Valavahanguna Dhammaratana Thera said that before the current government came to power, former President Ranil Wickremesinghe and a group including Vidura Vikramanayaka had allegedly sold the Anulas Tupa located on the Mihintale sacred grounds for 300 million rupees. He claimed that this act constituted both a financial crime and a cultural betrayal, as the stupa held immense historical and spiritual value and had been globally recognized as a monument of Theravada Buddhist heritage. The Thera further stated that a formal complaint had already been lodged with the Bribery Commission regarding this incident. He added that neither he nor the Mahanayaka Theras of the Malwatua chapter had been made aware of the transaction. According to him, former Minister Vidura Vikramanayaka had allegedly sold the stupa to Taiwan without the knowledge of religious leaders or the public. He said that this had gone unnoticed until now and called for a proper investigation into the incident, emphasizing that several officials were reportedly involved and must be held accountable under the law.
Colombo Additional Magistrate Harshana Kakunawala today ordered to release on bail Shan Yahampat Gunaratna, who has been in the private secretary of former Minister Manu Shananayakara, has been taken into custody by the Bribery Commission. This suspect has been taken into custody regarding investigations being conducted pertaining to the allegation of obtaining a bribe of 4.3 million rupees from the selected concerned institution, which was related to the selection of an institution for an external training workshop for the officials of Foreign Employment Bureau and demanding money from that institution. Colombo Additional Magistrate Harshana Kakunawala ordered the release of the suspect on 2 personal bails of 2.5 million rupees each after considering the facts presented by the Bribery Commission and the attorneys at law of the defence when the case was taken up for hearing today. His foreign travel has also been banned by the magistrate. The Bribery Commission informed the Colombo Magistrates Court today that there is no requirement at present to take into custody former CID Director, retired DIG Rohan Premaratna, pertaining to an investigation being conducted by the Bribery Commission. The official appearing on behalf of the Bribery Commission informed this when the anticipatory bail petition filed by him requesting to release him on anticipatory bail before taking him into custody by the Bribery Commission when the petition was taken up for hearing today. Colombo Additional Magistrate Harshana Kakunawala informed the attorney at law of the petitioner that the former DIG has to be informed to record a statement at the Bribery Commission on the 4th of August. The Supreme Court issued an interim injunction order today preventing the enactment of a previous ruling by the Appeal Court quashing a letter sent to the Criminal Investigation Department by the Attorney General requesting to name suspended IGP Deshbandhu Tennakoon, who has been the then DIG in charge of the Western Province and also a suspect in the incident of conducting assaults at Kotagogama Aragalaya at the Golface Green on the 9th of May 2022. This order has been issued by a 3-member bench of judges consisting Justice Janak De Silva, Justice Sobita Raj Karuna and Justice Sampath Abhikon, permitting to take up for hearing an appeal filed by the Attorney General.
A 37-year-old Canadian woman was arrested early this morning at Bandaranaike International Airport in Katunayake for attempting to smuggle a large quantity of hashish into Sri Lanka. The suspect arrived in the island early this morning on board a flight from Montreal in Canada via Doha to Colombo at 2:50 a.m. According to the customs officials, during their inspection, they searched her luggage and discovered nearly 2 kilograms of hashish concealed inside.
The duration of the acceptance of appeals and objections regarding the second stage of Asma Welfare Benefit Scheme has been extended up to the 31st of this month. Those applicants who were unable to forward their appeals and objections so far can download the concerned application form by visiting the web page of the Welfare Benefits Board. The board further states that the applicants will have to visit the concerned Provincial Secretariat office and hand over the application personally later.
Remains of the late Anunnaka Thera of the Agirya chapter of Mahabihara, Shyamapoli Maha Nikaya Venerable Anamaduwe Dhammadasi Thera was brought to the Agirya Mahabihara this evening. The cremation ceremony is to be held at the Kandy Police Grounds on the 24th of this month with stage patronage. Venerable Dhammadasi Thera passed away last morning while having treatment for an ailment at a private hospital in Kandy. The Thera was 67 years at his passing away. Remains of the Thera were placed at the Liangastana ancient temple last night. The remains were brought in a motorcade to the Udugama Sri Buddharakita Memorial Hall at the Agirya Mahabihara today. Anunnaka of the Agirya chapter, Venerable Veneruwe Upali Thera, said that the remains of the late Deputy Chief Prelate would be placed at the Udagama Buddharakita Memorial Hall from this evening until they are taken in procession to the police grounds tomorrow. He reminded the public that all necessary arrangements had been made for both laypersons and members of the Mahasangha to pay their last respects to the late Thera's remains.
Well, local stories on the other side of this break.
Prima Stella, api hamoma kamati. Live from the National News Studio, Sri Lanka.
Welcome back. We continue with more news from home. President Anunnaka Dissanayake instructs the health authorities for continuous supply of medicine without shortages or delays.
These instructions was given at a discussion held in the President's office this evening. This discussion was held in connection with the streamlining of the drugs supply chain with the Minister of Health and Mass Media Dr. Nalinda Jatissa, Deputy Minister Dr. Hansaka Vijayamuni and officials from the Ministry of Health. During the discussion, the procurement and distribution of medicines were reviewed. The President instructed officials to streamline the mechanism to ensure a continuous supply of essential medicines to the public without any shortages or delays. President Anunnaka Dissanayake further highlighted that the necessary funds for medicine procurement by hospitals have already been allocated by the Treasury. He emphasized the collective commitment required to guarantee high-quality healthcare services for the people of this country.
The Cabinet of Ministers granted approval for the proposal furnished by Minister of Justice and National Integration Harshna Nanayakkara for publishing the President's Entitlements Act No. 4 of 1986 in the Government Gazette notification and submit it to the Parliament for its concurrence. Minister of Health and Media Dr. Nalinda Jatissa said that a draft bill had been prepared to abolish all privileges granted for former President and their spouses except for their entitled pension. He stated that this draft legislation was ready and would soon be gazetted and presented to Parliament. He added that the Cabinet had granted its approval to proceed with this process and had authorized the Minister to take the necessary steps. The Minister also noted that the related actions would be implemented within a very short period. Discussions have been conducted with the program on artificial intelligence in Singapore, which is implemented at the National University of Singapore, to explore the opportunities for active partnership and sharing knowledge that can be contributable to the strategic objectives in Sri Lanka for the development of artificial intelligence. The proposal has been submitted in respect of signing a memorandum of understanding to be formalized and with the cooperation between the two countries. Accordingly, the Cabinet of Ministers has approved the proposal presented by President Anunnaka Dissanayake to sign the proposed memorandum of understanding between the Ministry of Digital Economy and the National University of Singapore. A research unit is planned to be established within the Sri Lanka Computer Emergency Readiness Team with the objective of identifying cyber threats, enhancing the capability to combat such threats and promoting the capacity for analyzing malware and developing human resources. Accordingly, the Cabinet of Ministers has approved the proposal presented by the President to implement the proposed project for establishing the cyber threat and malware Analyzing and Research Unit. The Cabinet of Ministers has approved the proposal presented by Prime Minister Dr. Harini Amarasuriya in her capacity as the Minister of Higher Education to sign a memorandum of understanding to further strengthen mutual cooperation in the field of higher education in both countries under the Stipendium Hagricum scholarship program with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Trade in Hungary. Manufacturers have been selected by a committee appointed by the Secretary to the Ministry of Health and Mass Media by calling for expressions of interest from the local manufacturers to purchase medicine and other medical supplies for the year 2025. Accordingly, the Cabinet of Ministers has approved the proposal presented by Minister of Health and Mass Media Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa to call for expressions of interest and technical proposals to purchase medicine and other medical supplies from the local manufacturers for the year 2026. The Cabinet of Ministers has approved the proposal presented by Minister of Power and Energy, Engineer Kumara Jayakodi, to call for bids for charcoal procurement from the registered suppliers for the Rurshole Lakvijaya power plant for year 2025-2026 season.
Several draft bills, including the budget concessionary allowances of employees draft bill, were passed in the Parliament today. Parliamentarians of the government and opposition expressed their views in this regard. Minister of Labour and Deputy Minister of Economic Development Dr. Anil Jayanta Fernando stated that in the past, instead of increasing the basic salary, various allowances had been provided to address the economic challenges faced by workers based on their prior experiences. He mentioned that the salary increment had been implemented starting from the April 1st, 2025. He explained that under the current government, through this amendment, the daily wage has increased by 1,800 rupees, raising the total by 10,800 rupees from April 1st to December 31st. He further said that this legislation was aimed at increasing a salary of 17,500 rupees by 11,500 rupees in a single move. Minister Vijay Hera stated that many private organizations or institutions had paid the increased salaries to employees after April 1st. However, he said that some institutions had still not paid. He explained that once the bill has been passed, even those institutions that had not been paid, the revised salaries would be required to pay employees the increased amount, including arrears, starting from April. Minister Sunil Kumar Gamage said that there had been an attempt to deliberately misinterpret the situation. He pointed out that claims suggesting that employees in the security sector, cleaning services and certain plantation sectors would not receive the increased salary were completely false. Parliamentarian Hesha Vitanage stated that when the situation is properly understood and read accurately, it becomes clear that the public, just like in January, had expectations, but instead members of parliament were being hunted down, prosecuted and imprisoned. Deputy Minister Mahinda Jayasinghe responded by saying that when looking at the opposition MPs, it was evident that many of them were the same individuals who had previously come together in an attempt to establish control over the Colombo Municipal Council. He said that they had. Parliamentarian Namal Rajpaksa responded by saying that it seemed as though accusations were being directed at them, implying that they were in communication with other opposition groups. Deputy Minister Mahinda Jayasinghe responded to Parliamentarian Namal Rajpaksa by saying that the Honourable MP should not attack him personally. He reminded Parliamentarian Namal Rajpaksa that everyone knows who was in power at the time when Wasim Tajuddin was murdered, when Jullambidya Amare was protected and organised criminals were sheltered and used to carry out various operations. He stated that he didn't wish to remind them again who enabled and benefited from those actions, but emphasized that the accusations against the government at the time were not baseless. He claimed that people were abducted in white vans, made to disappear, and those in power back then were well aware of who was responsible. The Deputy Minister also responded to the opposition's criticism of Anuradha Dissanayaka's remarks against current President, stating that if the former President Mahinda Rajapaksa or Namal Rajapaksa had been insulted like that during their rule, none of the perpetrators would have remained unharmed in public life.
And now we bring you several development news items in brief. New hotel complex is being built at the Pinnavala Tourism Zone with development of facilities there. The foundation stone for the hotel was laid under the patronage of Minister Dhammika Pattabandi. The 52-room new hotel complex project cost 3.5 billion rupees. Addressing the gathering, the minister said that the government has set up an economic background which the local and foreign entrepreneurs are able to make their investments. It has been planned to cultivate 500 acres of cinnamon in the Vavuniya district. It has been identified that a conducive climatic and environmental condition for cinnamon cultivation is available in the northern province. The cultivation project is to be implemented targeting the foreign market. Accordingly, a discussion was held at the Vavuniya district secretariat under the district secretary P.A. Sarat Chandra regarding cultivating cinnamon in 4 divisional secretariats. Coast Conservation Department has taken measures to conserve the eroded places along the northwestern seabelt due to heavy winds laying stone fences. Many areas in the Chilao, Valahini and Iranavela seabelts are severely affected by the winds. This action was taken since the sea erosion has caused a risk in damaging the carpeted road from Chilao to Nainamadam as well.
In more local stories, 15 million narcotic tablets that had been taken into custody of Police Anti-Narcotic Bureau in 2018 and completed legal proceedings were destroyed yesterday at the Palavia area in Puttalam. This stock of narcotic tablets were taken into custody by a raid conducted jointly by the Police Anti-Narcotic Bureau and Sri Lanka Customs on the 10th of September 2018. After the completion of legal proceedings, the Colombo Magistrates Court ordered to destroy the stock. Later, the stock was taken into an incinerator at the Palavia area in Puttalam under special police security and then destroyed with the supervision of Puttalam Magistrate. Government analyst officials of the Anti-Narcotic Bureau and Customs and several others were present at this occasion.
Brotherhood Day, implemented since 2008, will be held in Jaffna tomorrow. A special train named the Train of Brotherhood will travel to Jaffna from Colombo Fort Railway Station. Mahesh Ambedkar, Education Secretary to the Socialist Youth Association, explains about this program at a media briefing held to raise awareness in this regard. Education Secretary to the Socialist Youth Association, Mahesh Ambedkar, said that they were not coming to Jaffna in isolation. Instead, he stated that brothers and sisters from across various districts of Sri Lanka were joining together, walking through cities and carrying the flags of unity as they came to Jaffna. He described it as a journey of brotherhood, adding that they were travelling on what they call the train of brotherhood. He further stated that their vision for the future was to create a country and eventually a world where Sinhalese, Tamils, Muslims and Burghers could all live together in unity.
In more local stories, Sri Lanka and Vietnam have commemorated 55 years of diplomatic relations with a special cultural event held in Colombo. The celebration also marked the launch of the Vietnam Film Show 2025, showcasing the richness of Vietnamese cinema and heritage. Held yesterday at the Lakshman Khadiragama Institute, the event was organized by the Embassy of Vietnam. The event was attended by Speaker of Parliament Jagat Vikramaratne, Vietnamese Ambassador Ting Thi Tham, several ministers, officials and members of the public. Highlights of the event included a cultural performance by Sri Lankan children guided by Truc Lam Monastery and Vietnamese cuisine. A Sinhala translation of the Vietnamese war memoir Dang Thuy Tram's Diary was also launched at the event. The three-day film festival commenced today and will continue till the 22nd to the 24th. The festival features free evening screenings of acclaimed Vietnamese films celebrating the enduring friendship between the two nations.
Breaking boundaries, finding new fields, starting new life.
Your presence tonight is a testament to the enduring friendship and goodwill that we have always treasured. This event takes place on a truly significant day. On this very day 55 years ago, 21st of July 1970, the diplomatic relations between Vietnam and Sri Lanka were officially established, making Sri Lanka one of the first 40 countries with which Vietnam had diplomatic ties since gaining independence in 1945. The venue we are gathered in tonight, the Lakshman Khadiragama Institute, is also symbolic, as the Honorable Lakshman Khadiragama is one of the Sri Lankan foreign ministers who visited Vietnam in 1999. Given the close cultural and historical ties between Vietnam and Sri Lanka, the Vietnam Film Show 2025 is more than just a celebration. It is a heartfelt token of appreciation from the Embassy of Vietnam to our Sri Lankan friends on this special occasion.
We gathered to celebrate a remarkable milestone, 55th years of diplomatic relations between Vietnam and Sri Lanka, and to inaugurate the Vietnam Film Show 2025, a shining example of cultural diplomacy in action. In our increasingly interconnected yet often divided world, it is thought the universal language of cinema that we can truly bridge cultures and foster mutual understanding. This festival, made possible through the visionary efforts of the Vietnamese Embassy in Sri Lanka, presents an invaluable opportunity for the cultural exchange that we must seize and expand. And of course, the importance our governments place on these people-to-people connections that form the bedrock of international relations.
That concludes local news for tonight. Foreign news on the other side of this break.
Now, the Iranian foreign minister says that the process of advancing his country's nuclear program will continue uninterrupted.
He further noted that Iran is also prepared to hold discussions with the United States. Despite the heavy damage caused by last month's American and Israeli airstrikes, Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi said the uranium enrichment program will not be abandoned. In foreign reports, he has said that although severe damage was sustained due to these strikes, the program has currently been halted. However, the foreign minister has pointed out that the program represents a major achievement by Iranian scientists. Therefore, abandoning it would amount to a compromise of the nation's pride, he has added.
Now, Rasara Vijayasuriya has set a new Sri Lankan record in the women's 10,000 meters event at the World University Sports Festival being held in Germany. 28 competitors participated in the women's 10,000 meters event. Rasara Vijayasuriya finished the event recording a timing of 32 minutes and 52.2 seconds. This has been a new Sri Lankan record, and Rasara has renewed her own record set previously. Her previous timing was 33 minutes 21.62 seconds, and she finished the event as the 8th competitor.
And that's all the news we have for you tonight. Join us same time, same place tomorrow. Signing off, it's me, Sonal, alongside Bilanjali. Have a good night.
Good night.